violent crime across Canada, 5 of the last 6 years has gone up. Firearms-related offenses have increased for 6 years in a row now. Homicides are at a 30-year high, and we know at least 1/3 of homicides are committed with firearms. And so as long as I've been alive, homicides haven't been this bad. I think that's pretty serious, and we're hoping for serious action from your government. And Winnipeg itself is on track to surpass its 2019 homicide record, and it's also ranked the violent capital of Canada in 2020. So Conservative members are taking the violent crime we're seeing surging across the country over the last 6 years very seriously. But we are also disappointed that following one of the shootings this fall in Montreal, I think it was even the day after, your government introduced Bill C-5, which removes mandatory prison time, as you know, for robberies with a firearm, extortion with a firearm, weapons trafficking, discharging a firearm with intent to injure, and using a firearm in the commission of a crime. And so we're quite concerned that on one hand, we're seeing criminals using often illegally smuggled guns to harm our communities. And on the other hand, your government is taking away the ability to ensure they have mandatory prison time. I'd like to know, Minister, if you believe Bill C-5 will keep criminals responsible for the shootings in Montreal and others across the country off our streets.
I do, Ms. Dancho, and before I tell you why, I want to thank you for your advocacy and for bringing your experiences both in Winnipeg and Montreal to this committee. I will say that Bill C-5 does ensure that a number of mandatory minimum penalties with regards to firearms offenses, serious firearms offenses, do remain in place. And not only that, as I have said, there are a number of serious firearms offenses to which we propose to increase maximum penalties, which of course we trust our independent judiciary to dispense where appropriate. I will also say, Ms. Dancho, that as I outlined in my remarks, our government takes this issue very seriously, which is why we have introduced additional gun controls, particularly the banning of assault rifles. And we are now going to take the next steps to do whatever it takes to reduce gun violence, because I believe we are all joined in that cause.
We don't share your belief that that allowing criminals who use firearms in robberies for extortion and serious gun crimes like that, we believe that they should go to jail, and that would help clean up our streets. We are concerned that Bill C-5 is allowing these criminals to return to our streets and ensure violence continues. The minister mentioned a gun buyback program as a primary measure to stop gun violence, although we know gang violence, using guns, and drug trafficking is the primary reason we're seeing rising gun crime in our cities. I mean, how many guns does the minister believe will be handed over to the federal government from criminals in Montreal using a gun buyback or a provincial ban? How many criminals does he anticipate will hand over their illegally possessed guns to the federal government?
Minister, about 20 seconds left in the slot.
Very briefly, Mr. Chair, I would simply say that the buyback program that we are going to introduce...
Minister, the answer is zero. Criminals will not be handing their guns back to you, and they are the ones that are hurting people in our cities. The number is zero.